Hello everyone, I'm back and doing some more CoD Friday today, and I'm actually really enjoying the series. This is a really good series for me, and I'm going to be doing it all the way up to the release of CoD 5, not CoD 5, CoD Ghost, sorry, and I'm going to be doing it all the way up till then, and even then I'm going to be putting out loads of gameplay and loads of stuff like that, and I'll probably still be doing CoD Friday after that anyway, but we won't talk about that yet. It's a long way away, so I won't bore you with it. I'll just get into the video, and this video I'm going to be talking about assault rifles. Now, if you haven't watched my last video, I will put a link in at the bottom, not in the description, at the bottom of the video, but I'll put it in the description as well. It's me just talking about sniping and quickscoping and what I'd really like to see in CoD Ghost. Basically, it was just me talking about what snipers I'd like to see back and how they could sort of improve the sniping and all that. But today we're talking about assault rifles, so I won't keep getting on about sniping, and we'll start off by talking about what guns we want to see back as in assault rifles. Now, assault rifles are sort of those guns that everyone can use. They're all-round guns. They're alright at short range, and they're alright at long range. They're not phenomenal really at anything apart from mid-range, which they're obviously made for. But you've got your basic assault rifles, which everybody knows about. If you played Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, you've got a set of assault rifles that really have been in every game and you know well. One of them being the M4 carbine. Now, in Modern Warfare it's just called the M4 carbine, and it looked a bit different, but in Modern Warfare 2 and 3 I think it was called the M4A1. Either way, it's pretty much the same gun. In real life it is anyway, it's pretty much the same gun, just a few altercations. But anyway, I personally think that will be back. I don't think they could make a modern warfare game without the M4 carbine. It just seemed really weird. I remember in Modern Warfare 2 I used to bum the hell out of that gun. It was so good. In Modern Warfare 1 obviously it's one of the only assault rifles, and there wasn't too much choice in CoD 4 obviously, being the first CoD of its generation. But you also had, in Modern Warfare 3 you had the M4 as well, and it wasn't that great. I mean Modern Warfare 3 wasn't actually a great game. It was alright, but it was nothing on Modern Warfare 1 and 2. So, but anyway, we'd like to see the M4 carbine back. And talking about guns which will probably make their way back purely by logic because they've been in the other ones, you've also got to talk about guns like the SCAR, the M16, the AK-47. You've got to talk about guns like that, because the SCAR's been in it since Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, as has the ACR, actually. The ACR's been in since Modern Warfare 2 and 3. But you've got guns like the AK-47 and the M16, and they've been in it right from the start. Obviously an AK-47 is one of the most well-known guns anyway, like not just from CoD, but everywhere. But also the M16, and that's just basically an M4 but with 3 burst, and that's been in it since Modern Warfare 1, because I remember in Modern Warfare 1 that was one of the best guns on the game. But then I think they'll make their way back. If it is obviously Modern Warfare, they could go out. We don't know yet whether it's Modern Warfare or not. Actually, that's going to be on the 21st, I think, when you get to see what it's all about, and because that's the Xbox reveal, the Xbox Next Generation reveal. But yeah, you'll see what it's all about then. But as like I said, the M4, the SCAR, the M16 and the AK-47, even the ACR will probably find their way back to a Modern Warfare game, unless they want to switch it up a bit. I don't know yet. But we've also got to talk about guns like the G36C. Now that was in CoD 4 first of all. It might have been an earlier one, but I didn't play them, so I'm not entirely sure. But online, G36C was incredible. I remember you just using it with silencer and stopping power, and it was incredible. It was one of the best guns I've actually ever used on a CoD. And when I found out they were bringing it back to the Modern Warfare 3, I was really excited because I thought, great, it's coming back. And I did actually use it in Modern Warfare 3, but it wasn't as good as it was in Modern Warfare. They sort of downgraded a little bit, and it wasn't great at close range. I remember it used to be so good at close range, but now in Modern Warfare 3, they sort of downgraded it a little bit, as they did with most guns actually. In Modern Warfare 3, they sort of downgraded them and made them worse. But I'd like to see that back. And also, another favourite gun of mine, which I'd love to see back, is the FAMAS. The FAMAS in Modern Warfare 2 was a 3 burst, and it was actually really good. It was sort of, the M16 I think was quite hard to unlock. It was quite high levels, so not many people used it. but the FAMAS was unlocked from basically the start of the levels whenever you prestige, and it was so good. It was sort of, I think without any perks, it was 6 bullets, so it's 2 shots that killed people, and that was pretty effective. And even with perks, it's really powerful. So I'd like to see the FAMAS back. They also had it in Modern Warfare 3, I think, but it wasn't a 3 burst. It was fully automatic, and I didn't use it. I didn't like it. I remember using it for like 2 or 3 games, and I hated it. And I didn't want to ruin that sort of love for the FAMAS, so I just left it. I didn't use it, which is a shame. But that's what Modern Warfare 3 did, really. And as I've said before, it wasn't exactly a groundbreaking game. But another thing you got to talk about, and you got to remember, is that in assault rifles, in every COD, and not just the Modern Warfares, there has always been single fire assault rifles. Now, COD 4, I cannot remember what it was. I would have to look that up, but I can't remember anyway. It might have been the M14. Might have been. Oh no, I know the other one. It was the M14 and the G3. I remember the G3 from Modern Warfare was incredible. It was so powerful. But there's always been single fire guns, and in Modern Warfare 2 there was the FAL. Modern Warfare 3 there was the FAL. In Black Ops 1 or 2 there was the FAL. So I'd love to see. I do like single fire guns. They're very fun to use, and they're also quite hard to use. So they're quite skillful guns to use. I mean, I'd like to see quite a variation of single fire guns, not just like one where they've just got the FAL. And if you don't like it, well, you can't use one. I'd like to see a nice variation, and it's the same with all assault rifles, really. I'd like to see all those assault rifles back. So the M4, the FAMAS, the SCAR, the M16, the AK-47, the ACR, the G36C. I'd like to see them all back to what they used to be. I don't want them to be sort of improved or changed in any way. Just come back how they were, because how they were was absolutely perfect. Especially the single fires. The single fire in CoD 4 was immense, but I won't keep going about single fire. There were other guns, assault rifles, which I've probably missed out. Stuff like, I remember using the F2000 from Modern Warfare 2. That was alright. It wasn't great, but it was a fun gun to use at least. And I can remember the TAR as well. I don't know if anyone else remembers the TAR 21, but that was a pretty good gun. That was a nice gun to use, and a lot of people actually use that. So I wouldn't mind seeing it back. Any gun, I'm not really sure about any guns from Modern Warfare 3. There was a gun called like the C90 or something, I don't know, but these guns, these assault rifles, I'd love it if they come back. They probably will come back, especially if it's Modern Warfare, because these guns obviously aren't outdated or anything. They just, COD obviously like to give it sort of a change and everything. But as I said, if COD Ghost is going to be the last of this generation, which I think it is, I think they also talked about how it's going to be on next gen as well. But if they want to sort of attract buyers and they want to go out with a bang, they will surely try and put some old guns in there. And all those old guns that I've mentioned would be perfect, really. I think everyone used those guns, everybody liked those guns. The M4 especially, and the AK and the ACR. I remember a lot of people use the ACR. But there are so many guns that they could bring back, and a lot of people would actually appreciate it. So assault rifles, I know that they're not exactly an exciting topic, but they are good all-round guns, and a lot of people actually use them. More people than I thought actually use them, so I thought I'd give them a quick rundown and see what ones could be making their way back. But I'm going to finish that there and basically finish the assault rifle episode. I was going to talk about submachine guns if I got time at the end of this video. Obviously I didn't, but I will be talking about them next time, and I can obviously go into more depth. I didn't go into much depth this episode, but there you go. Next time we'll just be talking about submachine guns. We'll talk about stuff like the MP5 and the P90 and the UMP and Vector and all that jazz. And I'll do that next Friday, obviously. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Obviously we all can't wait for CoD Ghost. It's going to be absolutely massive. If I get any news about CoD Ghost, there probably will be news on May the 21st. I will probably be doing something for it. I don't know. I may not. I might just do a CoD Friday about it. I'm not sure. But thanks for watching, and feel free to like, subscribe. Don't forget, if you haven't watched my last episode, which is about sniping and quickscoping, click on the link in the description or at the bottom of this video. And also next week, tune in for when I will be talking about submachine guns and their impact on the next COD. So obviously, thanks for watching. Again, feel free to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday.